in Colorado, the first time I've ever seen 85 gas.
What?
Fun fact. We when I was driving to Moab from Detroit with David Tracy, we were towing his 1948 Willys CJ2A Jeep. Nice. And we had a loaner Raptor from Ford. And we decided that we wanted to see how bad of gas mileage we can get on this car. Because it's a 3.5 liter V6 EcoBoost. It makes a decent amount of power, but it's also fairly economical because it is a big truck and it makes more sense than it should. But we were doing here's everything that was working against us, right? So we had to tow a trailer, U-Haul car hauler, which was about 2,200 pounds on its own. Then we put David's Jeep on top of that.
Okay.
So let's say that the Jeep is, it's let's say 22. Let's say there's about 5,000 pounds in the back, right? Now we also have about 1,000 pounds worth of tools and parts in the bed. Wow. We had another, let's say 500 or something inside the car. We had tools, and this was the most haggard car, the most haggard Raptor in existence. Like,
shout out to Haggard Garage.
No, not even that. Like, this was the most. If Ford saw, like, if Ford just stopped us in the middle and like, hey guys, what's up? What's going on? And then just like looked inside the car, like, oh my god, you have to pay for this. You're gonna have to pay for it. Like this car's pretty destroyed. I hope that David cleaned it before he gave it to them, because that needed a priest. But so we had all that going for us, and then we had a high altitude mountain pass, which is just death for usual car for power and whatever, because the air gets thinner. There's less to actually combust. So we were doing, I think it was like 8,000 or 10,000 feet, something like that elevation. We had to go over the mountains to get into Utah.
Over the river and through the woods to Grandma's house you went?
Yes. So we decided to fill it up with 85. So we filled it up with 85. We were towing a lot. We had a lot in the payload, and it was me and David in the car, so plus our weights. And this thing was, at one point, I got 2 MPG.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's the most American gas mileage I've ever heard.
It was, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. All those things that, like, if this happened to my truck, my diesel truck, even though there's not really grades of diesel, I would not have 2 MPG. I would measure it in yards.
GPM. 2 GPM.
Yeah, exactly. 2 GPM. So it's really a testament to Ford. We also ended up sleeping in the car because we drove from Denver to we're going to Utah, and we had a meetup with some Jalopnik readers, and then after the meetup we still had to drive like 5 hours in basically pitch black over the mountains, and we were like exhausted because we had just pulled the head in a parking lot in Denver.
Off of the Jeep?
Off of the Jeep, yeah, because it was having some issues. So we had to pull the head off the parking lot. We got a new head gasket, and we put the head gasket on, and we put everything else on, and the Jeep still didn't start, and then we had to...
But you had it on a trailer.
Yeah, we had it on a trailer.
So why did you have to do a head change or head gasket
Because
change?
the point was to drive the thing to Moab.
The Jeep?
The Jeep. So we drove... so it started in Detroit, and the point was to drive this thing from Detroit to Moab, and the fun part about it is it didn't have any overdrive. So the maximum speed of this car was around 38 miles an hour.
Why were you doing this? What?
Because it's fun.
What's wrong with you guys?
It's fun. So it's 38 miles an hour, and it took us probably 8 to 10 hours to do 300 miles. So we're doing that.
Sense.
So we're driving literally for probably 12 or something hours a day, maybe more, for 7 days straight. And it got tiring. It was an interesting drive. I was tailing behind him. Imagine you tailing across the country somebody who's going 38 miles an hour.
Yeah, but you said just a few seconds ago that it was fun.
It was fun. So it's one of those the thing that Matt Farah says, like, it's fun when it's over. when you're in it, I had a lot of podcasts and whatever. I can imagine David was probably he said he was having fun, but listen, he has no radio in that. He has this car was from 1948. It barely even had seats. I remember stuff started falling out because we were going. We mapped this thing out so it didn't go towards the highway, because if you went on the highway, you're doing 35 miles an hour. You're gonna get
obliterated.
Yeah, you're gonna get obliterated. Like, you're just gonna die.
Yeah. And if you do it on a back road, you're gonna have like 30 people behind you. So one of them's gonna run up on you, shoot you. You're gonna get obliterated and die.
Sure, but we just did back roads. And we got to see a lot of the country. It was really cool. Kansas is really beautiful, actually.
I'm here for that. Yeah, Kansas is amazing. Utah is amazing. Denver is, Colorado. The state of Denver is also amazing.
Yes. That's that American school system for you, everybody.
I really enjoy being out west.
Yeah, it's really nice. We actually met up with Tyler Hoover. He had a Freddy's Steak Burgers joint over there, and we met up with him, and he actually helped us patch a tire, which was really cool.
Awesome.
But that was an interesting trip. But the car blew up at some point when we were in Kansas. We're about an hour from the Kansas border.
The Jeep?
The Jeep. And the Jeep just kind of exploded. So we were driving, and then David, he just hears a boom. Like, it was probably 1 a.m, something like that. And he just hears a boom, and he just goes off. And it's like, what's going on? And everything looks fine. The car just won't turn on anymore. Like, oh crap. So we have to push it onto the trailer, and this is pitch black in Kansas cornfields at 1 a.m. Like,
Jeepers Creepers style.
Well, not even that. Like, some trucker might not see, like some tired trucker might not see you.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the Jeepers Creepers guy.
or that what's that Paul Walker movie? Candy Cane. The trucker.
Fast and Furious.
I thought we had a good rapport going. We can finish each other's sandwiches. No. We had some. It was a little sketchy getting it on the trailer, but we started
little roadkill action style
sorta
trip.
So after that, we started because David doesn't want to. He doesn't like to half-ass things. If he goes in with his whole ass. So what we did was the next stop. I think we took a day, and we ended up taking the entire car apart in a Walmart parking lot. Like the engine, the oil pan, I don't think we pulled a crankshaft, but we definitely pulled a head, and that has it was a flat head. So okay. The head just comes off with a bunch of bolts. Some of them weren't the original bolts, but the head came off, exhaust manifolds, all that stuff. We checked the valves. All that seemed fine. Like I thought that we were going to see some carnage when we popped the valve cover, not the valve cover, the oil pan. We didn't see anything. And then we were like racking our brains, like thinking, what could it be? We looked at the timing, and like that looked all correct. It wasn't shear or anything. And then we were like racking our brains and like, screw it, we're just gonna go to Moab. So we drive to Moab, and when we get to Moab, we stayed at this guy's garage. So it's this dude, Christian Brunner, really really cool guy. He basically built a garage on top of his property, which is sort of a de facto junkyard, but it's really cool. Like, he made kind of houses out of buses. So, but I mean, he doesn't live there, but it's like kind of like a playground,
like a retreat type of deal.
Kind of, yeah. So we slept in his garage, and he has it's like a 2-story garage where he made a second story completely out of RV frames. And everything's DIY, dude.
That sounds amazing.
It's awesome.
And kind of sketchy, but I'm here for it.
It is, dude, it is. I mean, it's windy in Utah, and at night you can hear the thing kind of, moving around, but it's just the best. Hopefully I'll be invited at some point again. But so we stayed there, and we're still thinking about what it could be. We take the car apart, and then I think it was either David or me or whatever. And we look at the timing gear, like, dude, this thing is like spun. Like, the timing gear is actually spun. The thing is, on those Jeeps, they used a nylon timing gear. It wasn't metal or anything like that. There was one part metal and one part was nylon, and it was like a cloth type backing. And what had happened was, I think after a while, maybe it was a backfire or something, and the bolt that was holding it on, it actually, like, there's a part that was holding it on. I think the glue, like, I don't know, got too hot, and it just spun like that. And it looked, on its face, it looked fine. But then we took it apart and like, oh, that's your problem.
Wow.
So we had to find a nylon timing gear. So that was a little hard. We enlisted the help of Rick Payway from Motor Trend, and Fred Williams from Dirt Every Day. They all tried to help. We ended up finding a nylon gear, which was sent to an AutoZone 2 hours away. So we had to drive to.
Oh man!
No, it was. I think it wasn't in Denver, but it was on the Colorado state, like, borderline, and we had to drive 2 hours there, 2 hours back, and just to get this thing running. By the time we got the car running, and then we went for like a midnight trail ride, which was really cool. Like, you can imagine, we're like, tired, but it was really cool. This car could scale anything. It was really, not anything, but it was really, really capable, and I didn't need a ton of power, and it just went up these hills like nothing. We did have a problem where the headlights, the wiring for the headlights broke, and I think it burned out a fuse. So at some point, we had to ditch the Raptor, because the Raptor wouldn't go over these rocks because it was too long. And the Raptor has a rock crawler mode, and I was like, yeah, I'll put on rock crawler mode. I'm like, I'm gonna leave the car here.
Yeah.
We're gonna take the Jeep. Then the Jeep headlights went out, and I had to use the flashlight to guide our way, because we were literally in the middle of Utah with nobody around.
Oh yeah.
And we're just on a trail, and there are cliffs. Like, there are literal cliffs. Like, if you walk 5 feet this way, you'll fall off a cliff. So that was fun. And David got pulled over by the police on the way back because he didn't have headlights. Because I think I was tailing him, or he was tailing me, and we decided that it would be more safe if he tailed me because I had headlights.
Right. And he had the brake lights.
He had the brake lights, right? But the cops
with your powers combined.
Exactly. We have one car. Yeah.
One whole car.
Yeah. So he got pulled over by the cops. So the cops let him go. They're like, just be careful, which was pretty cool.